Well, here we are. Here we are.
Hey, Claire.
Yeah. How are you today? Oh,
I'm doing
oh my God.
well, feeling much better. How are you?
Big echo. There was a big echo for a second there.
Was
Hold
there a
on.
big echo?
Yeah, but hello everyone. Yeah, hopefully
Is it better
uh
now?
I'm hoping it is. If someone could let
Okay.
us know how if we're balanced as far as sound, the two of us. Say something cheery, Kim.
Something cheery? Well, it's not this episode.
I was going to say it's definitely not this episode. I can't believe we saved this one to the end of this.
I
I
can't
just I
either.
can't. And it wasn't intended. Thank you, Beaver, for letting us know. Hello, everyone in chat. By the way, I'm not ignoring you.
Yes, hello, everyone. I'm
It is
having
good.
trouble tagging everyone today, so.
Yeah, yeah. Our sounds we were having a little issue with sound and stuff like that. And as you saw, the intro went wacko on us. Like, I don't know, it's
Yeah, it
just going to be
did.
one of those days. What happened with that? Like, I have no idea.
I don't
Um,
know either.
we'll have to check it after. But welcome Sandy and Jean and Luke and Dan and mm, oh, and Beaver. Hello,
Yes.
and Kim. Look at that. You're in the chat. Hey.
I'm in the chat,
How are you? I'm good. I'm
just
good. You got
chatting
this in the
away.
chat. Just chatting away. But this episode, in case anyone didn't read the description, this one was about crocodile. In this episode was
It was
well,
a hot mess.
it was a hot mess. I would say nihilistic. Like, let's use big words. Like, I'm gonna
Yes.
make. I'll tell you how I'm gonna deal with this. I'm gonna use big words because big words always make me happy.
I've got big words all
Exactly.
through my notes. All through
Because
my notes, I've got big
I,
words.
I must admit, Charlie Brooker, like you did not make me very happy.
No.
You squoze every last piece of joy out of me during this 52 minutes and 76 seconds or 56 seconds or whatever it was. It was almost 53 minutes. And I know that because it was excruciating and I watched the
Oh,
clock
it
the whole
seems
time.
so much longer.
It did.
I
And
kept thinking,
oh,
when will this end? Let it end now.
oh wait, oh, this is very important. Oh my goodness. Hold on here. Arcanix 1971. Sorry I'm late, but a squad of dreaded swings from the Delta Quadrant invaded and I had to save the Earth. Again, you're welcome. Thank you so much for your service, Arcanix. I don't know what we would do without you. I am so glad. Thank you for that. Way to swing it back to where it should be. Well, yeah, this was bleak. Bleak,
It
bleak, bleak.
was.
hmm
It really
Uh,
was.
mm. They, Brooker is a fantastic writer, and I know he's trying to deal with subjects back and forth that are uncomfortable. Um,
Right.
to say that this was uncomfortable would be an understatement. Um,
Major.
but you know how Charlie Brooker in interviews is always telling us it's not about the technology. I'm telling
It's
you,
about the
technology is not
humanity.
evil. It's
Right.
about the humanity, and I think he just proved it in this one
Oh, I
because
think so too.
yeah, because the technology, the recorder, the system that they used was intriguing. Not that impossible, by the way. That technology already pretty much exists somehow.
Right.
But
In
but
fact,
anyway, do you want to go on?
I think this episode just kind of highlighted our predisposition to naturally trust technology. And again, Brooker is like, don't,
Mm-hmm.
don't. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
technology, it's everyone around you, and it's
Mm-hmm.
you. So,
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty
yeah,
much. Do you want to give a
I,
brief rundown
I,
of the
I can
story
give a little
without
rundown. I
without like
can.
um just with the first episode up into the until we and through when the investigator gets involved or the insurance
Yes.
person. Well, not the other parts yet.
Okay.
We'll
So,
stop there.
right. So, this is the third episode of the fourth series. in Black Mirror. Again, it was written by Charlie Brooker, who right now, Charlie, I still love you. I'll let you live rent free in my head, but I'm not real happy with this episode. It was directed by John Hillcoat, who is an amazing director. It first aired on Netflix on December 29th of 2017. It follows Mia, who
Yeah.
is played by Andrea Riseborough. She's an
Hmm.
amazing actress. And she had a friend named Rob. They were out partying one night, and as they were driving back to where they were, I guess, their home, they were kind of partying in the car, singing, having a good time. And all of a sudden, you see this look come over Rob's face. There's a big crash. His whole front windshield is basically cracked, just like
Hmm.
the Black Mirror
Yeah.
intro. And
Hmm.
they had hit a cyclist. Cyclist flew over the car. They got out. They saw the cyclist was dead. Mia instantly wanted to call for help and to call the police, do the right
Right.
thing.
Hmm.
Rob convinced her they could not do that and to help get rid of the body.
Mm.
And
Body, meaning he didn't make it,
he did
obviously.
not make it. No,
Mhm.
no,
Mm.
he did not.
Mm.
So, it was a hit and run. It would have been a manslaughter. Rob didn't want to face that. And so then he makes Mia, and she makes herself complicit in
Mhm.
that. So
Right.
instead of just an accident, it's now a crime that they're both having to
Mhm.
cover up.
Right, because they're like gonna get rid of the body. He just,
Yes.
yeah.
Then we see a few years have passed, and we see that Mia has become very successful. She's now married. She has
Mhm.
a cute little boy.
Yeah, teenager, yeah, small,
Yeah,
early teens, yeah.
early teens. Yeah,
Hmm. And
and
she's a
she's an
well-known
architect,
architect. Yes, a famous
very
architect.
successful
Yeah.
architect, and she is going to a forum to
Mm-hmm.
speak to, I guess, a group of other architects.
Mm-hmm.
And when she's back in her hotel room that night, there's a knock on her door, and it turns out that it's Rob from her
Mm-hmm.
past. Now,
Mm-hmm.
they had maintained it sounded like some contact, but it had been a few years. We now find out that Rob has now he's now living a sober lifestyle. It had been just under a year since he had had his last drink,
Mm-hmm.
and he saw a newspaper article which stated that the wife of the cyclist
Mm-hmm.
wanted answers. She wanted an end to what
Yeah,
happened to him.
it was what, like 15 years, and
15
it,
years.
it really shook him up that she never
Yeah,
moved, she never got married again. She just
never.
stayed there in the same house,
Yeah,
waiting for him, waiting for
waiting for him to
answers,
come home or answers or
or
something.
or for someone to come forward and tell them what happened. She
Yes,
figured if she went on with her life at all, she would never know, and she really wanted to know. So
exactly.
it was
And so Rob
heartbreaking.
decided, because of his sober lifestyle, he needed to atone for this.
Hmm. Well,
And
that's
Mia,
part of it, isn't it? Like
it
when
is
you're
part of
sober,
it.
and
It
they say
is.
to make amends with everyone that you have had a problem with, throughout. And I guess,
Exactly.
this might have been one of the major ones in his life. Yeah. So,
Right.
mm,
And so he was actually going to send her a letter anonymously, letting her
mm-hmm,
know what had happened. And Mia was like, "We can't do that. You can't do that. You you'll
mm-hmm.
ruin everything. You'll ruin my life."
To say that she had a major freak out about it would be mild.
Would be an understatement.
Yeah. She immediately went into the "you're not thinking about me, you're just being selfish,"
She
and
went into self-protection mode.
yeah, and she's like, "I carried this secret for you all this time. Like, I did this for you. You made me do this." Like,
Mhm.
almost like she had no control. Well, she
Oh,
did.
yeah.
She had a decision to make all these 15 years, but
She
or
did.
immediately she starts to see the risk, but tries to put it all on him. It's all his fault. Everything's his
Exactly.
fault. Yeah.
Yeah. And they get into a big struggle. And Mia is a tiny little thing.
She
I mean,
little, yeah.
I bet she doesn't weigh a buck soaking
Hmm.
wet.
Yeah, she looked to be
And
like me, like 5 foot, about 100
yeah,
pounds. You
yeah,
know.
Rob's not a huge hulk of a guy, but he's much larger than Mia is.
Mm-hmm.
But she's so enraged and so overcome with emotion that she just like wrestles him and they she pushes him into the wall and they fall. I mean, they literally fall down and she's on top of him and you hear the crack in his head and then you
Yeah.
start seeing the blood coming from his nose
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
he
but that's
starts
not enough. Yeah.
no, he starts fighting back. She puts her forearm against his throat and
Yeah,
starts
that.
pushing down.
And let me tell you, for cinematography and directing and
Oh,
actually the audio guy, you literally hear, I don't know if it's his neck or his windpipe, but you literally
you
hear it
hear it.
crack.
You
You
hear
hear
the
it snap.
crack. Yeah, it's
And
I think it was like the hyoid bone.
I flinched. I
I
absolutely
did
flinched. I
too.
can't believe they did that to me.
And
Damn
every
it.
time I've seen it, I just cringe and flinch in the same spots.
Well, there were so many parts like that. Before
There
we go any
were.
further, I want to go back to when before she leaves for this forum. Okay, there was a part that struck me. She's in the bathroom rehearsing her speech to herself
Yes.
in the mirror, and she literally needs to convince herself that there's hope in the world because she has to actually give a speech about the future of architecture and how it can change and how we're also hopeful and we can make a difference and everything. And you could see
Right.
it in her face. She doesn't believe a single word of it. She's like
No, she
stone.
doesn't.
She's like, it's like an exercise that she's doing to
Yes.
convince herself of this. And that
Uh-huh.
really struck me, like, because I'm thinking, okay, 15 years of this secret, right?
Yeah.
She moved on with her life, but did she really?
But
Because
I
here
don't
she
think
is
she
in,
did.
yeah, with this big hopeful event coming up, and she's so like excited about everything. But then here she is in the bathroom mirror convincing herself, and the look on her face, it was just like I
Yeah.
felt it. I felt her
I
really trying to convince herself
yeah, it's
that the
like
world
she
could be a
all
better place. Yeah.
yeah, it's like she almost always lived with that hanging over her to where
Mm-hmm.
it caused like a hopelessness in her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can. It was just too much. Yeah,
It
definitely.
was. It was way too much.
Yeah.
Way too
I mean,
much.
there's like so many parts of this, got to be like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
all right, so
Yeah.
not to interrupt you too much. So we're back where, okay, so he caused all this problem and she puts an end to it. She's not
She
gonna have it
does.
anymore. Right.
She's that's how she gets rid of it, is
Oh,
she ends his life.
mm-hmm.
And then we see her figuring out, "Okay, I've got this dead body in my hotel room. I'm checking out in the morning. How am I going to get rid of this?" So somehow she gets him under the bed. She looks at the escape route. You know how all hotels room have
Yep.
your little
Mm-hmm.
escape route,
Mm-hmm.
and she calls room service and orders room service because she knows that they would leave the room service cart or the
Hmm.
trolley in her
Right.
room, and she puts him on that
Mm-hmm.
to get him out of the hotel.
Right. And
But
she
before she does that, she sets it up to look like she's still in the hotel by renting an on-demand movie.
a first Easter egg. Across the
Yes.
screen, Wraiths appears. Okay,
Race
which is
babes.
one of the movies from 15 Million, Marys.
Yes.
It's one of the shows that was on Hotspot, that came off of Hotspots. It was the one that guy, the
Uh-huh.
the the perverted one. Well, they were all
Yeah,
perverted. The
they
more
were all.
perverted one, the more
Yeah.
aggressively perverted one that ran the show about hot babes and stuff like that. Well, it was a show like based on that, but she ended up putting on a very aggressive porn movie.
Very aggressive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
In fact,
Yeah.
I have an Easter egg on that also, Claire.
On the porn? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Hey,
The
make me smile. You go
um
ahead. Mhm.
let me see if I can find it again. Okay, the film that she chose was a production by Erica Lust. Erica Lust is actually a very well known feminist adult filmmaker who's very vocal about changing the industry.
Oh, okay. So that was like that was like an underhanded little passive aggressive hit in the
Yes.
head. What?
Uh huh.
Oh, not nice, Charlie. Not very nice. Okay, I missed that. I did not. I wasn't looking that far, but whoa.
Well, you
No,
know me. You know me. I always have one time of viewing where I sit there and I play in a pause, I play in a pause, just looking for Easter eggs.
I'm telling you, but I would have missed that. But I guess he didn't like the what. However, she's trying to change the industry. I would say they don't like the way she's going about it. I don't. You
Probably
know.
not
Yeah.
if she's
Mm,
making that type of
yeah.
content.
Yeah, I can see it. But anyway, so that was our first Easter egg. It was just like flashed across the screen there. But so
Yes.
like let me just take a little bit of it here and then you jump back in.
All
Like
right.
so she spends the next few minutes of the film uh just getting the body out of the hotel, getting it into her car, and she's going to dispose of it some way. And she goes to a first of all, the scenery in this
Uh,
episode is actually
so
breathtaking because it's
it's so
Iceland,
beautiful.
and it's all vast and
So
snowy and
beautiful.
mountains and skies, but it's also there's so much
Desolate.
emptiness from one place to another. Desolate is
Yeah.
kind of the
And
word.
stark
Um, and it
and
kind of makes you,
harsh.
and it makes the whole thing feel nihilistic to me. Okay.
Yes, it
Because
does.
there's just that, the life here and what they're doing, and then it's just this big vast world. And everything looks small, including her car with the dead body driving away, in the scenery,
Right.
in the Icelandic backdrop with the huge mountains and snow and just overwhelming, breathtaking,
Yeah.
gorgeous. And you're just like, yeah, there's like a dead body in your car and she's driving away and it's all like small like an ant, and I'm just like,
Right.
okay, point taken. You're like, this is a
Yeah.
little part of a big world, but look at how this little thing is just such a big smear of degradation, because
Mhm.
here she's got the body, she's driving to a water treatment plant, I believe it is. Now how she
Yeah.
does this I don't know, but she goes up, like, the water treatment plants, everything's up high, there's all those metal
It
stairways,
is.
like if
I
you've
don't
seen
know
them
how she
on the
got that
outside.
body.
And she dragging it like all the way up, and then the next
Yeah.
scene is like she's taking the manhole cover type thing off, this the thing that seals the top, because it's obviously water that's at a certain really hot temperature, you could tell by the steam.
It
um
was.
because they're treating it or whatever. She's going to dump the body in there because she figures, whatever. I don't know what she's thinking, because I don't want to know what she's thinking at this point, because she's out of her mind.
Yeah.
All right. So she puts the body in there and then, steam and covers it back up. But here's what I'm thinking. All through that hotel, like we're thinking a little bit in the future, right? Now we know how it is now. In 2022, if I tried to get a dead body out of my hotel room, I'm going to tell you, there's so many cameras, there's so many things going on. There's no way I can do it without it looking
Right?
suspicious. There is no way I would get
No
that cart
way.
into an elevator, down the elevator, into the car, into the under building garage, and into my car without
Yeah.
any seeing anything. So that port, failed, Charlie, right there. Failed because we didn't match the technology to what was going on, because that
Exactly.
it didn't fit. You're supposed to be a little bit into the future here, and unless of
Yeah,
course
you
they
know that they would have
backtrack.
been able to track everything.
Except maybe the only thing that I was thinking is maybe he didn't worry about it, because in the future a little bit they don't have to worry about that as much, about CCTV, because they got this memory thing called the recorder.
The
What it's called.
recaller. Yeah.
And so maybe it's not as necessary. But I do see cameras everywhere. I see
I
them in the
know.
hallway. I see them in the parking garage. I see
Yeah.
them on the outside of the building with, the big plant that she's going to get rid of the body.
Exactly.
Yeah, Erin says she couldn't flush the body down the toilet,
Right?
so she took it to the. Thank you, Erin, for that. Thank you. I need the
Yes.
humor, so keep it
Right.
coming.
We
Because
do need the humor
yeah, I
today.
need the humor.
This is
I
heavy.
have, for the first time in maybe a year, I woke up with absolutely not a stitch of humor in my body today. I don't know how it happened, but I'll be honest about it. Not a crumb. It. This episode didn't help much. I
It
tell you
didn't
that.
help.
But
No.
anyway, they just it just like, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe that's another comment about it. Maybe that's like towards the end, like towards the end, maybe it matters more. And it's very Twilight Zone. If any of you have
It
watched the Twilight
is.
Zone, often these Black Mirror episodes remind me of that show because of the twists and the things you see all along, and then it makes sense at the very end when you get that
Right?
last snapshot.
Everything comes together.
And Rod Sterling's over talking, and you get that last little twist and stab of what's really going on, and you're like, "Oh crap! Oh, that's it." It's like that. It's definitely this episode was very much like that. Although it seems to just play out like a really bad, horrific story.
It does.
Yeah, and yeah. So, oh gosh, it's all right, so she's getting rid of the body, and she's
Mhm.
going back home now. And she obviously looks a wreck, yeah. Mhm.
She does.
Uh, When she goes to check out, though, was it not humorous that the clerk, of course, it's a very well kept, let's call him a Gen X, like one of those
Yes.
guys that's really into fashion, and like he's just like he just thinks he's all that, but
Oh,
he's
yeah,
very
you can tell.
judgmental. And he looks at her checkout bill, and he's like, the movie 9.99, that, and she's like,
You know that
oh
movie
yeah,
you
what?
watched?
He's like, what? She's like, what? He goes, the movie, and he's like making a big deal about the movie selection because it obviously disturbed you that,
Right.
this single woman was there up there. Well, I'm like, dude, like, come on, like, it's only porn. Like, he's making a big
Yeah,
deal about it. But it's stuck in his mind, like, which
it
is
did.
important later. It's like really
Yes.
stuck in his brain, what she was watching, like he
Uh-huh.
cared, like she was in. But for her it was just an alibi. It was like, if I played a movie for 90 minutes, I can get out of here and get back,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
it'll look like I did it. I was here the whole time, which we all know, if you follow my true crime, it doesn't work. Mm.
No.
Just because you order a movie doesn't mean you watched it.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, and most people will catch on to that. At least the ones
They
that want
will.
to. Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah. There was that. I thought that was humorous that she thought that that was going to cover everything,
I know, it
uh,
it really was. It
but
was
that
very
bothered me.
humorous.
The camera thing bothered me. I just why I had to mention it
I
because I was like,
know.
obviously I do a lot of true crime and legal stuff, because I'm like looking at this episode because there's a crime going on and just picking it apart piece by piece about
Yeah.
the evidence.
We do
I'm
have a
just
tendency to do that, I think, a little bit more.
I'm I'm looking at all the evidence that she's dropping all
Yeah.
over the place. But anyway, so she goes back home, right? And the husband is like working on the
Yes.
coffee machine, and that she's making small talk. She's got a wonderful husband who
Oh,
takes care of the son, and everything going on at the house. She's the architect. They have a very looks like to be a very good understanding about who does what and everything. It doesn't look to be like he's a house husband. It looks like he's also a professional, but for whatever reason, his job is more at home. He can do things,
right. I think so.
yeah, because he's walking around in a suit all the time, right? Like
Right.
I figured he's either on a camera or doing meetings, but he is. It looks to be primarily responsible for the boy,
Yes.
because when he leaves, the boy leaves with him. They talk about the show. The boy's going to be in a play. He's been
Right.
practicing, and they talk
The
about how
dad even
exciting
sings
it
part
is.
of the
Yeah,
song.
yeah, and he sings it. You could tell he's very involved in the child's life.
Oh,
Very,
yes.
very, very, right. And it's a very interesting, because throughout this there's a lot of play like that about men and their children, which I enjoyed seeing. I enjoyed seeing the reinforcement of that, about different ways that the traditional home life can be played out,
Right.
because now we get to the man with the broken arm, right? Oh,
Yes.
yes. Hmm, because that's going to be a big part of this whole thing, which we don't know at the time.
We
We
don't.
forget about it. We forget about it because you remember, like while all this is going on, she's like walking around her hotel room. She's making all these plans and everything. And actually, Brooker, as the writer, is leaving little clues to how it's all going to stitch together, just like a
He
Twilight Zone
definitely
episode.
is.
He's
Yes.
dropping crumbs all over the place, which I refused to acknowledge at the time
I know.
until
We've got like
until
this
it hit
little trail to
until it's
follow.
trail until we go. But do you want to introduce our other key
Our
uh
other gentleman,
player, our other
okay.
well, you can introduce the gentleman who leads up to the next actress
or
who is
or
phenomenal in
do you
this.
want
Yeah.
Shazia, the
Uh
insurance person?
yeah, let's go from Shazia right to the guy. Yeah.
Okay. So we meet a young lady named Shazia, and she works for an insurance company. Her
Mm-hmm.
job is to investigate accidents, to see how they happened, to see if someone else is going to be liable or if the insurance is going to be liable for payment, much like we do today. And then she has this nifty little device called a recaller or a memory corroborator, I think is what they also called it. So she goes to the home of a gentleman who had a broken arm. It turns out he was a musician and he
Mm-hmm.
was set to travel and perform in several locations around the world. And now he'd not be able to do that due to his injury. So it looked like he was possibly a guitarist. He had several guitars in his room. And so she goes to his house or his home and she has her little recaller with her and she wants him to recreate the accident which caused his broken arm. And he's talking about walking down the street, seeing an attractive woman coming towards him in a yellow coat, and she had bright red lipstick on.
Mm-hmm.
And Chazi is even like, "You think she's pretty?" And he's like, "Uh huh." And then he's getting ready to cross the street, and there's a Fences pizza delivery, which is a vehicle that delivers pizza that does not have a driver. So it's automated. And as he's crossing the street, the Fences pizza delivery truck hits him and knocks
Mm-hmm.
him to the ground. And we see Miss Yellowcoat rush over to him and someone from the opposite side of the street rush over to him also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we're able to see all of this through the memory recaller, which is a little
Yes.
chip that's put on
Mm-hmm.
their temple, and Shazia can visually see their memories.
Right. What they're while they're remembering it, like that
Yes,
second, she
yes,
put the ear thing in, and through this little box, she sees. Actually, the box sees it, but she's looking at the box, but she hears everything through this
uh
little
huh.
thing in her ear, right? And gosh, that thing was so bizarre.
It was.
Um, it it because also it went through limbic type technology
Yes,
to where like we're like smell and sound
smell,
what would help
sound,
us remember things,
emotion.
because like she had him smell a beer because she said the area that it happened to smelled like a brewery
Right,
because
because there
yeah,
was.
right, because she was there, like she's the
Hmm.
type of investigator that goes to the scene and everything first, and she was like she's really
Right.
caring and thoughtful. I really liked the way she approached
I
everything.
did too.
um,
She was a
in
very empathetic character. I mean,
right.
she showed such
Yeah.
humanity and
Hmm.
gentleness. Even
Hmm.
like remember Neck Brace Lady that she first
Yeah.
went to,
Hmm.
and the lady was like taking her time getting the door,
Hmm.
and bef- Mia told her who she was, who what company she was with, and she
Hmm.
said, "I just have some questions about your accident. May I come in?" She's always very polite and very thoughtful.
Hmm.
Even putting the little device on their temple, she would
Hmm.
pull it out and hold it, and she was like, "May I?" I mean,
Hmm.
always asking permission.
Hmm. She seemed to be quite a decent human being. So,
She did.
especially for the kind of job she does, because like she's trying to figure out if people are lying to her, and she's trying to figure out how to
Right.
not pay or pay a claim. She's an insurance adjuster in the future. doing a job. She's she's an insurance adjusting investigator. So she's
Yes,
working for the adjustment team, which we all know their goal is to not pay the claim if they don't have to, right?
of course.
Well, although they'll coach it as we only play accurate claims, like it's in the best interest,
Yes,
but they're
I do.
mainly they're looking for the loopholes not to pay.
Uh-huh.
Rightly, they're protecting their money, yeah, whatever. But
They
she
are.
seems to take it in such a humanistic approach, and she understands how violating the technology can appear to be, and she actually tries to reassure you that any like she sees all kinds of things. Don't be embarrassed, like
Yeah,
whatever it is. We're only going to stick to the only thing that it gets into the report is the actual facts about this incident. Period.
right.
Nothing else going around because can you imagine if like somebody put a
Oh,
little chip on your head and your actual thoughts are in a box, for
exactly.
eh,
And it's like, what a violation of privacy.
I could not. Mm-mm, I could
Uh-uh.
not do it. Yeah. Yes, Erin, she used like an open beer. She said, don't drink it, just
Yes,
smell it.
just
And
sniff
then
it.
the song, Easter egg number
The
two,
song, the
that was
song.
playing, that was playing through a car that was traveling by while the
Yes,
accident happened to be the song from 15 Million Merits that she sang on the show, right?
yes, it
The
was
love
Abby's
song.
song. Yes.
It was Abby's love song, which is throughout this episode. Mhm.
Oh, so overplayed.
Yes, Arcanics. I did. That's a good comment here too. I thought the may I was interesting because it implies that consent is required, but as
Yes.
refusal would danger the claim, it's consent or else. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's kind of a like may I or like do you dare or
I
like you know
know,
what I
and that
mean?
kind of
Like.
plays into it later with Mia
Hmm.
also.
Yes, it is. And Aaron, I agree. Just like certain songs take you right back to being a teenager
They
or
do.
or the life adventures you had while listening to them over. Yeah, I get
Yes.
it. Just back to periods of time or even simple memories, that you've had. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
agree. Well, that limbic response there was good with how that machine worked like that. I thought that was
It
a good
really
way to
was.
because the machine itself seems
Yeah,
so simple. It seems so simple, this
it
technology.
did.
And in this episode, it was seamless. It was like you didn't doubt it was possible at all. Like it
Right.
was
No.
that integrated in the way she's carrying the box around like it's
Yeah,
nothing. First of all, they made it a big lumbering box and not a
right?
sophisticated little,
I thought it'd
little,
be some
little,
small little,
you
like,
know,
iPad type
yeah,
thing.
in some of our Black Mirror episodes, they go so far in the future that everything's all tiny and tapped up and,
Right?
this and that. Even the homes, although very modern, it looks like it could be only a couple years, like 2 years in the future.
Oh,
Like
yeah, not
you
that
get the
far.
feeling, and I know from doing a little bit of research, which I did, that this technology is actually being used in some
It
ways. Like,
is.
okay, let me explain, like, in some ways, how it's already used, not exactly for the memories part, but for the brainwave thing that they're like, you go through sleep technology, they go for those, you stay overnight at the hospital and they do all your brain
Right, you have a
mapping and
sleep
all of that.
study test.
They do
Mhm.
that. They do that. And then there's also when they're working with uh, patients who have memory loss and everything through traumatic event, they're
Right.
using the scent and the music therapies and the
Mhm.
relaxation techniques and then visualization things and stuff like that. But they're also using these little devices, these brainwave devices. I think you may have read about it that actually are helping to encourage the memory. So
They
like
are.
for me, these things that I've read have made this technology not that far of a leap to me,
Exactly.
although I don't know the exact science. I wouldn't pretend to be, to know the exact terminology or science for it. I just know it's not that unrealistic that it's
No, it's
actually
really not.
I would think somewhere it's actually being tested or used for something. I
I
read
know,
it.
and I
To tell you the
I
truth.
I wanna say I read somewhere that there was some official use of it,
Hmm.
but I can't
Well,
remember.
well, that'll be for another episode. Well, like right
Right?
now, yeah, right now we got to deal with the nest this mess, and
Exactly.
I say mess lovingly, but I can't really say this is a happy one. This is not anywhere
No.
near a happy episode, and purposely. purposely dark, purposely noir, like
It
Arcanic said,
is.
with the
Yeah,
with the
like a Nordic
atmosphere.
noir.
First of all, if it's not an outside scene with the beautiful Icelandic backdrop, most everything is very darkly filmed, very
It
darkly
is.
lit, very eerily lit. To the fact
Yes.
that I'm like, you just trying to, you're bleaking me out, dude, on purpose. The director was fantastic. John Hill, who did the road, right? He's very good.
Right. John
He is,
Hillcoat, yeah, he was the
yeah, yeah,
director.
yeah, yeah. He is so good. This
He's
was
just
very, very good.
amazing.
And again, I always comment on the way they pick their cinematographers to go with the episode, and again, just brilliant the way they did the whole
Right.
thing, just brilliant. Oh,
Yeah.
they really pulled it all together. Oh, but okay, so we got Shazia. Yeah, is that
Uh-huh.
Shazia?
Shazia.
She is she's a wonderful character, very well played by the actress.
Yes.
Very believable. Everything, she takes us right there. She's interviewing him, and she's going. Part of the process, right? It's just like a good a good investigative agent. They get little pieces of information they can go forward with. So, like, he did not visualize the vehicle during his memory at all. Like, he got hit, he was focused on the woman, he heard the song, she gets confirmation of all of that. But since he didn't actually get the speed of the vehicle, these are like technical facts that she needs, but she's going to go a little bit farther. So she now has the woman in the yellow coat to
Yes.
actually, she doesn't know who she is, but she's going to try to find out, which brings
Right.
us to another part of technology that they threw at us in this episode that I found scary as hell.
I know. I
Okay,
know.
because all she did was put that woman's face in her phone, attached it to a computer in her car, and she could
Yeah.
match it to a database on who
It's
exactly
like it
that
went
person.
through Coda.
It's like it went through like a national mapping of the
Yes.
world. It wasn't even just like her city or her town. It was the
No.
world.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it comes up with her particulars, and then a map comes up as to exactly where she can find her.
Where she is. It's scary.
It was that just, I went, what? I actually played back. I went back to, a minute, and I went,
I
what did you
know.
just do? Yeah.
Like
That
home
blew me
address,
away.
phone
Yeah.
numbers,
Yeah. Yeah.
associates,
As creepy
work.
as my memories being in that box was, this was worse. This was worse because
Yeah.
you know what? This happens. This
It
happens.
does
We
happen.
just don't know about the willingness to give our information away to, like, when we log in for email services and we log in for all these stuff. They do track stuff. I mean, they're not allowed to use it. Laws are holding them back for everything, but don't think that, like, they don't have any. They
Oh
sell
yeah.
lists of contacts. They privacy, this, that, and the other thing. That technology, not that far away either. So it was a little
No.
disturbing. I don't think it's worldwide yet that you could put my face in
No. I
a
don't think so
computer and
either.
figure out, who I am. But, not that I care, like, for myself, like not knowing, but just the whole thought that, wow, it was that fast, it was that quick, like, whoa. And
Right.
she didn't need any forms. Here's the thing, right, Arcanics? We were talking about the privacy and consent before with may I, and the privacy of the whole memory issue. Well, here she is. She just took a picture from somebody's memory and she put it in her phone, and she just found out everything about her she could
Yeah.
instantly.
Like what
In
happened
that,
to my privacy? I have
it
none.
doesn't exist in this part of Brooker's world. And yes, Luke, it was spooky.
It
A little
is.
unnerving. Yeah, the data stuff was unnerving. But not implausible, right? That's the scary part, is that it wasn't implausible.
Right.
It was real. So she goes and meets her, right? She was a pleasant young lady. She gave her more information, right?
She was.
Yeah, she gave her more information about the accident itself, helping him. She did see the vehicle, but she didn't see how fast it went. But she at least saw
Right.
the vehicle this time, and it is the pizza truck that hit him. Like,
It
she's
is the pizza
confirming it
truck.
definitely. It looks like it's the automatic, and it's an automatic pizza truck.
Yes.
It's like the ice cream truck, only
It's
it's pizza.
driverless. It's
Like,
pizza.
and it has no driver. And I'm fascinated that you could get pizza 24/7 on the streets
Oh
of
my
Iceland.
gosh. I
Okay,
would be
and
so
it comes out
there.
door all hot and everything. It goes, here's your pizza. Like it's like a vending machine in a truck, and it's pizza. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like they, yeah, that was
I would
cool.
be so there.
That was so cool. That
Yeah.
part really, yeah. Well, so like her part really didn't add much more to the story except for to confirm, except for the big flash.
The big flash.
The big
Yes.
flash, which sees in the actual the window of a car
Yes.
going by. She actually sees
No,
it
it was in the
happen.
building.
Oh, in the building, and she sees
Yes.
in the window there, and then she sees
Uh-huh.
actually no, she sees the flash came from a building, but she
Yeah.
saw the flash in that reflection,
It was its
and that's how she
reflection.
chased it back to the building. She saw the picture of the building with the flash where it was coming from in one of those vehicles that was going by in the windshield.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
the lady in the yellow coat even said, you know, it's close to the dentist office. It's right by the dentist
Mhm.
office.
Yeah, right. And so that's why then she goes and interviews the dentist, right?
Yes.
He's very
We meet
nervous.
the dentist. And
Hmm.
yeah, he's not as forthcoming as everyone else
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
he was um doing something he probably shouldn't have been doing. And I kept thinking
Well, it was kind of harmless. He was just
it was
looking.
harmless. He was just
He was.
looking. But
He,
before I learned that, I kept thinking, please don't let it be anything with the patient, please.
yeah,
Don't
please,
let it
no, it
be
wasn't.
anything
It
with the
wasn't
patient.
anything. Thank you, Charlie, for not doing that to us too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Thank
yeah,
All right, I give you a thank you there. Thanks for skipping that part of the writing. That might have been a chapter you decided to toss, because we know
right?
you screw with us like that. But I'm glad you
Yeah.
put that one aside. Well, basically, what he does is he's looking out the window and he's looking at the hotel across the street, which is the
Uh-huh.
hotel that Mia Nolan is staying in, by the way.
Yes.
Okay. He looks across the hotel, and no, he doesn't see Mia kill anybody. Let's just
No.
forget that. If you haven't seen it, I'm just going to wipe that from your minds right now because
Yeah.
you might be thinking, oh, here we go. There's a witness. No, there's not a witness.
No.
But next to Mia's hotel room was a very attractive naked man walking around, and this guy
Yes.
was ogling him and
Yes.
trying to take a picture of him naked in his hotel room again, without him
Uh-huh.
knowing about it. A kind of a violation there, a little peeping Tom thing.
A little bit.
But
Yeah.
but the dentist forgot to turn the flash off of the camera, so a big
Yeah.
flash happened, and all he got was a big white thing, and then he was too embarrassed to. Then he notices that Mia is looking at him,
Yes.
okay, and that Mia sees the flash go off because she's looking out her window because we realized then that we saw that she saw the accident. She
Uh-huh.
heard like she was getting ready to close the windows and she saw what was going on out there.
Right.
Okay. And then she closed all of the windows and all. Well, the man thought that she saw him take the picture and he got all squirrely and he didn't take any more pictures. And everybody
Exactly.
everybody just closed up their blinds and went away.
Yeah.
But but he tells her about Mia. Actually,
He
his
does.
memory
His
has a
memory
picture of
does.
Mia because he focused on Mia staring straight back at him from
Right?
the big, those big picture windows that the hotels have looking out, like to the balcony like that. She's like full right in it, just looking
Oh
straight
yeah.
ahead.
Full body.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So you know what happens next. She's like, okay, I got that part of the story. And
Yeah.
being the wonderful investigator that she is, she just decides she's gonna put Mia's face in there.
She's
And
gonna
that
try
didn't,
to find Mia now.
yeah. Well, she goes home and we meet her husband, right? Who's a
Yes.
wonderful, taking care of the home
Oh,
kind
he's
of,
so good.
and they have a very tiny baby,
Yes.
like a year old or so, just over a
Yeah.
year maybe. And he brings her a guinea pig as a gift for her
A
birthday.
cute little guinea pig.
And she doesn't know what to do because she just looks at it like, okay, it's a guinea
She's
pig. But
like,
he's like,
"Well, it's
oh, he's like,
fluffy."
he goes, yeah, it's fluffy. Yeah, she's like, you're so hard to buy for, and I thought the little one would like it, and blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, okay, oh, okay, we'll keep it, like whatever. But it was a really cool cage. It was kind of a
It
sweet
was.
cage. But he seemed like a very, caring. It seems like they had a great relationship. But she did seem a little distant, a little bit to me, like huh,
Yeah.
like, but it was nice. You could tell that he was very supportive in her career. And she was
Right.
really into it when she gets investigating this stuff. She was really into it
Oh,
because
yeah.
she barely took a heartbeat to talk to him about it, right? Like barely.
Right.
Yeah, she put Mia in the computer, and boom, Mia comes up like
Mia comes
instantly.
right up.
And it's getting towards dark, right? Mm.
Uh-huh.
Well, she says to him, "Listen, it's about an hour's away. I gotta go." Because of course her address and everywhere she's at that moment pops
Is
up. Scary.
there. Yeah.
I'm like, what? And she's like, it's about an hour's drive. I mean, everything, directions, how to get there, everything immediately.
Everything.
And she's like, well, it's about an hour's away. And he's like, well, it's getting, late. And she's like, well, if I wrap it up, I'll get double the pay for clearing this up within a certain period of time. And then he was
Right.
like, well, if you have to, you have to. So go for it then. See you later. And so, apparently she's the one that makes the money
I
in the
kinda
home.
got that feeling
I
also
got
that
the
she was the
feeling that they
breadwinner.
made an arrangement right now. But at the same time, it was the kind of relationship you want to see where they talk about it the whole time. Like,
Exactly.
she's not pushing it on me. Listen, I'm the bread maker, so if I say I'm leaving, I'm leaving. Like, no, it wasn't
Right.
like that. It was like, hey, this isn't, our arrangement is usually I'm home at a certain time or whatever, and then I take over the baby kind of thing. That's what I think was going on. And she was kind of letting it know I am giving you your say in it because you've been home all day with the child, which was so nice to see.
I
Um,
know.
yeah, it was nice to see people communicating and compromising. Who
Communicate
would have
actually
thought?
saying, "I
Right.
know. It works, people.
Successful adult relationships. My God, between a man and a woman.
I know.
What?
How did we get to
Like,
this point?"
yes. How? And there was the other one too. I mean, apparently, Mia's husband was the same way as far as
Yeah.
communicating. Although I won't say that they had a healthy relationship because
No.
Mia just killed somebody. Mia had a dark
Yeah.
secret for 15 years. Mia was not able to enjoy her life. Like she was
She
disassociated
wasn't.
in a way from her life. It's quite apparent because as quickly as she went from successful architect with a husband and a child and a happy life to being able to break somebody's windpipe, as
Yeah.
tiny as she was, the force and the anger she had to have to do that was so much. Um, that just blew me away. But anyway, I'm not so sure that they were having the same kind of relationship as these two. It
Yeah.
might appear that way. They were communicating and compromising, but mm, mm, just in a different way. Yeah. Oh, Luke said that he was watching a video about Elon's Neuralink tech earlier, and the guy said, I'm scared of my brain getting hacked, and that will be a real concern in the near future. You ain't kidding. You are not
Exactly. It
kidding.
will be.
We're gonna willingly have to let them hack us in some way. This is gonna be
Right.
like it's just so. And then the way they're acting, like the way people are acting right now in our government, like I don't even want to depend on them to protect us
No.
because that's not gonna like they're not like common sense. Like,
I know.
mm,
And I
my
definitely don't want
gosh.
them in my head.
This is really, yeah. That is scary, Luke. It really is.
It
That they're
is.
working. Yeah, yeah, they truly. But so she goes to find Mia, right? Yeah.
She does.
Mm. Mia's not too happy.
Mia's not real receptive. She's
She's
really
like, I'm
not. They're talking through a closed door.
right. Mia's like, just trying to like work through things as it is. She just like got rid of the body and everything, and she's like really upset. And she's got this children's the play that her son's in later tonight, and she's like just trying to calm herself
Right.
down. I mean, she's literally in the middle of the late morning in the kitchen drinking
A
wine,
mega
trying
pint of
yeah,
wine.
a mega pint of
A
wine.
mega pint.
But
After
it
she
was
had
chilled and it was
2.
white. It was chilled and it was white, and she
It
was like,
was.
she. Well, anyway, she just like was downing it, just trying to calm herself and just pacing
Oh,
and just thinking, trying to think of like I guess all these like things she didn't think of. You know what I mean? To
yeah.
make sure she's not, because she's still in this panic mode. Like you could see in her eyes are
She
all big
is.
and just darty. This
Uh-huh.
actress has a great way of depicting that there's more going on with the character than she's telling you because of her facial expressions, her eye
Her
darting,
face was great.
her jerky movements. Okay, were. it was a great way of letting us know, what. So she lets her in after she recalls that she does remember what happened, because she says, "I saw you, through somebody else's. I saw you, saw had a great view of it." And she goes, "Oh yes, oh that, oh yeah. Well, I could just tell you about that." But she doesn't know about the technology right away yet. They go into the living room and sit, and they're talking about
Well,
the accident.
and even before then, she said, "I don't remember anything," before she let Shazia in,
Mm-hmm.
and Shazia said, "If you don't comply, I have to report it to the police."
That's right. And then they're gonna want to
Which
know why you don't want to talk. Like that's
which
my
then
obligation.
it's like, why does she always ask permission to put the device
I
on
was
them?
wondering if she just said that or
I think
if
she
it was
did.
true. Because she
No,
said it's the law now since last year that if you witnessed
yeah,
anything, you must let us know about it. Like it's a law. And if you
right.
won't, and I know you witnessed it because I have it like with this other guy's memory, then I have to report it that you won't tell us. And she's like,
Yeah.
Mia's like,
Uh,
oh well. Like, yeah, you're
and
right.
and then she even hands Mia the EULA, the end user license agreement, and says, "Here, you can read all of the legalities in this." Like anyone really
Mhm.
reads those?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
So that's
Oh,
why I think Shazia was making that up.
yeah. She may have been, or she seems so. It is like she seems such a good person. I'm not sure she was making it up. I think maybe
I,
they did pass a law. They said if
maybe
you
they
witness a
did.
crime, you need to provide information on that crime. No more like I don't want to get involved. Like try to force people to be good people.
Yeah.
Um, how often have we wondered why they don't tell people that that's what the norm has to be, because we don't actually do the norm, do the right thing all the time. We don't want to be bothered because too many
Right.
bad things happen. Hopefully they did laws to protect those people too for when they tell the truth. But
Uh-huh.
I know our Arcanics, I'm sorry, we don't like it because it's scary enough. This episode is horrible enough without bringing up the realities of today. I get.
Exactly.
But it's like this is the world we're living in. Like this is my life right now here in the United States. Like I can't help
Yeah.
put the parallels together, and the scariness of it. It actually, but I'm not trying to scare you away. I love that you're here, so don't run
We
away.
do.
We'll try to coach it a little gentler, not be a sledgehammer. But yeah, so Mia gets, tries to get her, Mia's trying not to get the recaller put on her. Like she's trying to
Yes.
say, you don't need that. I could tell you everything that happened. We don't need to do that. I have perfect recall of everything. Don't worry about it. Like I could tell you.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, no, I kind of need to document it because you're gonna miss things. Like I need to know how fast the vehicle was going, and the machine will capture that. You can't. And she's like, she got nowhere to go, nowhere to
Nowhere.
go with that answer because it's true. Like she can't
Yeah.
calculate how fast, and it's not going to register. She needs the actual documentation.
Exactly.
So she puts it on her, and
Well, and even before then, Mia was like, "Oh no, she's gonna actually have to do this, so I need to come up with
yeah,
plan B real quick." And she's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Would you like some tea or coffee?"
Uh
So
huh.
that buys her some time. But did you notice her focus while she was waiting on the coffee went to
Yeah.
the knives?
She went like the music playing too, and the night. Like
Yes,
I was watching a serial killer movie
and
at
the
this point.
knives. I know.
And I
I was like,
and I
"No."
realized damn it, Brooker, I am watching a serial killer movie, aren't I?
Yes.
Because there's no way that this lovely insurance agent is getting out of this alive. There's no
And
way. There's
then
no
she's like,
like
if I'm going to be sitting there a while, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. And in the bathroom, again, we see herself trying to convince her own self of what
she
happened
was
in that hotel
she was
room.
she was telling her brain
Yes.
this is what spoke to me, because remember the when she was in the bathroom before the big forum thing, when she's going to do the speech, and she had to convince herself that everything's okay and the world is a wonderful place.
Uh
This
huh.
is what she did all the time. Like now it's
Yeah.
obvious So she's right back in the bathroom again, talking to herself in the mirror, telling herself she can control her memories on what's going to be projected out. She's trying to
Exactly.
convince herself what she saw so that only that. She's saying over and over again the
Mhm.
accident, what she saw, over and over, repeating it so that that is what's forefront in her brain. That
Yeah,
she thinks I think she actually thought she was going to control what came through.
I think
What
so
she
too,
saw.
and what
Yeah,
it reminded me of is when, well, I watch a lot of ID Discovery,
yeah,
like, almost all the time, and it reminds me of when you see them giving, like, a polygraph,
uh
and the
huh,
person thinks that they're gonna be able to
hmm,
beat it by
right,
controlling their breathing,
mhm,
and they
right.
overcompensate.
Right. And here's the thing, like while that was going on and she's doing that in the mirror, all I hear is the psycho music, and I'm going, psychopath,
Yes.
that's smart that you're going to actually go ahead and convince everybody else of everything. You definitely have lost it. You have
Oh,
lost it. Okay.
and this is where, and I kinda did in the hotel room too, but this was really where I was like, "She is just like Lady Macbeth. This is her descent into
Uh-huh.
madness."
Yeah, she's gone. Yeah. At that
Uh-huh.
point, I know that she's not dealing with reality very well.
No.
Well, actually, I knew she was. I knew she was in panic mode when she's looking, making coffee, staring at a set of knives on the counter.
Right?
Knives, okay, and then looking into the living room at the insurance agent, Shazia, and then back to the knives, and then I think I need a bathroom break because I'm going to be
Uh-huh.
sitting to tell you this for so long, and I'm like, oh, she better not be, going to get like a gun or
Oh
whatever,
my
like.
gosh.
But the whole time, the music from Psycho, like that, was in
Oh,
the back of
yeah.
my head.
It was
I'm like,
horrible.
yeah, I'm like, oh, Claire, you watch too much of these stuff.
I know,
You
I
really,
that was
yeah.
what I kept thinking. I was like, "I need to find something happy."
Yeah, exactly. Well, so it gets to the point. She comes back out of the bathroom, right? She sits down. Mia does have to consent to the recaller being put on her. So of course,
Right?
Shazia puts the recaller on her, and instantly is flooded with everything that happened. She
Yes.
sees the murder, she sees the conflict, she sees the violence, she sees the sex film, she sees all of it, like in a flash, like boom, and she literally takes a step back, like she literally jolts back. And so Mia knows what she saw it. Mia
Oh,
knows she
yeah.
saw it.
Mia knows.
And yeah, so she also did see the pizza truck. Like it started with the pizza truck, and she did
She
get the
did.
how fast it was going. It did
She
clock
got
it.
the
Boom.
speed.
And then it went right into the murder and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
But
and all
so,
those red flashes on the screen.
well, of course, because they're like traumatic. It
You
made
know,
the
that
red flashes to me. I think they did that to make it like we felt like okay, these memory impulses that are coming through are traumatic. They're like you can't stop them because they're so
uh-huh.
there's no way to control them. They're just boom,
Well,
boom, boom,
yeah, and
like your
I
body is working against
yeah,
you. You
and I felt like it almost spoke also it kinda emphasized the sovereignty of truth, and that
mm-hmm.
truth is always ubiquitous and compulsory.
Interesting. Compulsory. There's your answer right there. And like
Mm,
that's what I was thinking. It's like the flashes, like that. That's
yeah,
how
like,
you
we
know
have no control over
you
that.
have no control over it. And she tried so hard to repress it that it came
Mhm,
back like violently like that with the red. I always think, strength and almost violence with red when they use that
yeah,
in film. Like when they assault me, when you assault me with the red color, like they
it's
did
such
in
a
a couple
color
of
of
episodes.
emotion
Yeah,
anyway.
it is. It really draws me in, and sometimes, the violence of it to me sometimes
Right.
it was speaking, but yeah, that was it. But all of a sudden, the way she jolted back, Mia knew immediately that the jig was up, and I was like,
Yes.
my heart sank because
I
now,
know.
like, okay, well, now we know Mia, we know how far she'll go. I mean, that was her ex-boyfriend, and they kept a secret for 15 years, and she didn't bat an eye about snuffing him out when he decided to tell the truth.
Exactly.
Which, if he had told the truth, he said he wasn't going to mention her. So I
I
don't,
know.
I don't think it had to be like this, and that really bothered me.
I
Welcome,
know.
Culture Cats. Hey, hope you're
Hey,
having
hi,
a good
Culture
weekend.
Cats.
Yeah, this was an upsetting episode. I don't know if you saw this one, but this one was a mind bender for
It
sure.
was.
Like, it's like a trippy serial killer thing out of the Twilight Zone. Like it's Brooker was dark here, and he was dark on purpose, like very, very
Yeah, he
dark.
definitely took us over to the dark side.
Well, he proved the series point to me finally after
He
all this
did.
time. Haven't I said all along that, yeah, sure, you don't think technology is doing anything, whatever, it is not them. But no, he proved it with this one. He literally, and this was the last one of the series besides Bandersnatch. And so
Yes.
I don't know how that happened that this ended up to be the last one, but it
I
really
I
it really
know.
proved it to me. It really, really did. It was great, especially the way it was filmed. I agree with your culture. It definitely Cats. It definitely portrayed exactly what he wanted to.
He
Just the
did.
way they used the scenery of Iceland to the vastness, the beauty of it, and then this dark, dark, unbelievably negative story that is
Yes,
not a drip of happiness. Although we're trying to find some in the personal relationships and the
we
reassurance
are.
that there are good people in the world, but
But
the
it's about
overall,
to get even darker.
I know, I don't know which one of us is going to do it.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can take it,
But I
Claire.
won't do it. I won't do it. I won't let you do it alone. I'll help you. I'll help you because that's what friends do. And if
I know.
we have to annihilate the only good person left in this story, so let's
Right.
do it together. Yeah, cool.
So
Mm,
previously, when Shazia was getting ready to leave one of the homes, her car had trouble starting. It
mm-hmm,
almost seemed like her starter was going out or something. And so that kind of foreshadowed what's about to happen.
mm-hmm.
So Mia kept saying, as Shazia's leaving, Mia knows that
Oh,
she saw
she
something.
yeah, she does.
She
She's
knows
acting
she saw
all
something.
panic. And
Yes.
listen, Shasha couldn't get out there fast enough. When she did that
No.
jolt back, she was already reaching for her coat, gathering up her
Yeah.
stuff, going,
She's
I've got
like,
everything I
I've
need.
got
We've
everything
got
I would need. I've got everything. I've got everything.
yeah,
It's
that's
fine. It's
it. Like,
fine.
fine. Yeah, that's it.
And
We're done.
Mia's
I'll get
out
out
there
of your
going,
hair. Yeah.
yeah, Mia's like, sometimes my thoughts get all jumble. I watch stuff and I hear things, and
Hmm.
my mind's just a jumbled mess. It doesn't mean
So she
anything.
starts talking like a crazy person,
She
supporting that like
does.
what a crazy
She
person would
does.
do. Yeah. And
So,
and she flashes back as she looks as she's following her out of the house. It's
yes,
Iceland. There's snow everywhere, and this woman is
everywhere.
following her out of the house without her shoes,
Yes,
without batting an eye about how cold it is, and just come
exactly.
right out of the house to follow her. But she got in
And
her car. Yeah,
she did, but her car won't start.
I know. In my
And
heart.
I know. I was just like, please let it start this time. Please let it. Every time I've watched it, I've begged for it to start.
Mm-hmm.
And Mia goes and grabs a rather large rock and
Mm-hmm.
hits the window of the driver's side window a couple of times, and
And
the window breaks.
and pulls her out,
And
and
she pulls her out and pulls her into what looks like almost an outbuilding or a barn.
yeah, like almost like we would have here in America, like a barn or an
Right.
out. I don't know what they kept there because the home itself is very modern, so I'm
Very
not sure
modern.
what that was doing. And all of the properties here in Iceland, you can see during the scenery of this that everything is so far apart from each other. Everything's like a long drive between beautiful long drive. Don't get me wrong, scenic,
Uh
but
huh.
there's no houses around, and everything. So it seems
Nothing.
that the
Everything's
building
so
has
far
to be.
apart.
I think it may be a gardening building or just an equipment building. I mean, they get a
Yeah.
lot of ice and snow. Maybe that's where they keep the extra generator and all of this other stuff. And the building would be harsh looking on the outside because of the weather. The
Right.
weather being on it as much as it did. But it didn't look like it was heated or lighted or anything else. And
No.
she ties her, of course, to a chair. Now we're going
Ties her
typical
up.
gangster like style here. Like we're going typical into the bad guy, serial killer,
Yes.
murderer,
Yes.
gangster type thing. They tie her to a chair, gag her, make her immobile. We
And
don't get
then
mm,
she puts the device on Shazia
to see who else would
to
know
cut
where. Mhm.
exactly. And she's able to see all of Shazia's memories. And she sees Shazia's husband. She doesn't see a baby,
Mhm.
but she sees Shazia's husband. And she hears them talking about going to see Mia. And she actually hears Shazia saying to her husband, "Well, if she'll talk, because apparently she was doing some questionable things in her hotel room."
Mm-hmm.
So, and at this point, Mia doesn't realize that she's talking about the porn. She's not sure, so she knows at that point that she has to kill Shazia.
Mm-hmm.
And she picks up a board and she's going to hit her on the
Right.
head.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
We don't
probably
take.
the
We don't see this. We don't see this.
we don't
Thankfully.
see it. Thank
Mm.
goodness. But this
Thank
is probably
you.
the only form of humanity we see out of Mia is
Mm-hmm.
that she tells her, "Close your eyes."
Yeah, but was that for her or no? I think that was more for Mia than it was for
You think it
Shasha.
was
I don't.
more for Mia?
Yeah, I would have to disagree. I don't think at this point there is any humanity
Well,
in Mia
I'm
at
trying to
all.
find a little bit. Give me just a little bit, Claire.
No, I can't because I could if she only hit her once with that log. But unfortunately, they faded away, and I heard
They
her
did.
hit her more
Hit
than
her.
3 times with that
Yeah,
log.
she
So
did.
like, no, she wanted to. Okay, if you're really worried about it, okay, once on the head. Okay, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Back away. No, she's like,
Yeah,
am I done? Let's make sure it's done right.
let's make
Boom, boom,
sure.
boom. Lack of humanity times
Yeah.
3. Sorry, Kim can't give it to
Okay.
you. She's
Okay,
evil.
Claire.
She's
I
evil.
concede.
She's gone to the dark side, and there were no
She
cookies.
is.
I'm
We're
telling
like
you.
we're
Yeah.
like full on Lady Macbeth crazy at this point.
Yes, just trying. She's just trying to cover her ass at
She
this time.
is.
She's gonna go. And let's not forget, how could you think there's any humanity when she just put that recorder on her to find out who else saw? She saw the
I
husband. You know where
know.
she's going next. You know where she's
I
going next.
know.
What kind of humanity is? Oh, close your eyes. That was
I
for
know,
me.
Claire, but I wanted that little
No,
glimmer of hope there.
that was for the spineless Mia who
Okay.
just don't look at
She
me.
didn't want to look into her eyes. Okay, I
Don't
get it.
look at me, so I have to
I
see what
looked
I'm
at it
doing. That's
differently.
what that was. It was like, don't look at me, so I have to actually acknowledge what I'm doing. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
was all for Mia.
And
That was not for
I
Shakti.
was looking at it as, I don't want you to see this come crashing down on your head.
Mm-mm. I saw it a little I mean, it's interesting that we both saw it a little different. I mean,
It is
that's
interesting.
human nature, right? I wonder what that
Right.
says about both of us, but let's another episode. It's a whole different series.
I know
But yeah,
we may have to have a stream just on, like, how this has all
yeah,
affected us.
can you imagine? I get some of my psychologist friends, the ones that are studying, and we all get together and we go the psychological evaluation of the people that are reviewing Black Mirror. And we go like, what this actually? No, I don't want to go there because I will be the prime subject of there. Like, no, YouTube does not need to know how my brain works. For
Right.
both. Yeah, go on. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, interesting as that was, I would watch it. I don't want to be a part of it. Not going to be the test
No, I'm
subject. Let's
thinking
say that.
you and
Yeah.
I talking about how it
Uh,
has affected us.
I think we do that every episode, though. I
I
think that,
kinda think we
many,
do too.
I think we do because
So,
almost all of it is about that. Is what we saw, how it affected us, what
it does.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I still love Brooker. I do, but he
Oh, I
proved
do
his point.
too. He
Definitely.
did.
If he didn't prove it by now, right now, he's proven to me. He has said in many, many interviews that, yes, I'm talking about technology and I'm making a warning, but I am not telling you that technology is going to ruin the world. I'm not telling you what that is the problem. I'm telling you human nature's reaction to technology and what they do with it. That's the problem. And in this episode, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's the human aspect
Uh-huh.
of it that's the big
You
issue.
know,
The recaller is really not the problem at all.
no, it's not, and I think also because this episode is so pessimistic in nature,
Mhm, mhm,
that he's also talking about how the heart of the story is that our choices damn us, and therefore
mhm,
we're complicit in our damnation.
mhm. Yep.
That was a big thing I got out of this one.
That's a big moral.
I know,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is. Well,
That's what
so
happens when I have
mhm.
too much time away from work.
Yeah,
I my
and you know what? I think when the new episodes come in, I'm just gonna like make you not watch it until the day before because you watch it like 100 times, and then I've got to deal with Nietzsche and Freud and like I love it. Don't get me wrong. This is not a complaint. It's absolutely fabulous that you do that, but I'm
but if
just
I can
like,
only watch
wow.
it the day of,
Yeah.
how
Well,
can
I
I get
don't.
all my Easter eggs?
All right, let's make it this deal that when the new season comes out, we will at least enjoy the new season before we use it to solve the problems of all the world. Let's just do that.
Okay,
Like
okay.
let's just review it all the way through once and enjoy it, and then we can try to solve the rest of the world with Brooker, which I don't think is possible. Brooker is
Okay.
just throwing it at us and going, "Damn you people! Look at this!" Like he's not trying to fix anything. Believe he's
Okay,
not trying to
cool.
fix it. What you know what I
I
mean?
I'm
You know,
I'm
it's
throwing
like wow. I know,
I'm throwing all
I
my
know.
notes away now.
No, 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 no! Don't throw them away. No, no, that's not what I mean. Like, no, that's not what I mean. No, 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 no. Don't take it that deep. It's
Well,
just like
I told you this one got, like, all into the
it did.
psyche and everything.
It did. It absolutely did, and it should because it was very very dark, and I think it was on purpose that it was that way, and I
I
think
think
that's
so
the
too.
I think that's exactly what he wanted us to do is to think about the larger issues
Uh-huh.
that are portrayed in it. He's such a good writer. I think he's also amazed that we do. Like because he's just writing because he thinks it's fascinating and this is a great story and it makes a point and this is the point of this story. But then when we actually get it that way and we have a tendency to look for more in it and take it farther, he's just like flabbergasted. He's like, well, yeah, I
Exactly.
see that. It wasn't what I meant, but I see it. I see where
But I
you're
see
getting
how
it.
you
And
get
isn't
that.
that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful that you went there with it? You know, it is
Yeah,
about to get a whole lot darker. Yes.
it is organics.
Yeah, hold my hand, Arcanics, because we are going to go there like right now. And
Okay, I'll go
yeah,
there for you, Claire.
yeah, I think I could put my big girl panties on
Are you
for just.
okay?
I am. I am because this part was very Twilight Zone. This part I recognize. This part, if I look at it as just great writing and cinematography, this is brilliant. This part's brilliant,
Yeah,
actually. It's not so brilliant that, of course, she's traveling to the home of Shazia with the intent to kill the other person. She knows where Shazia went and that she went to interview Mia. So she's Mia's on her way there to kill the husband. That's it. She's got a
yeah.
gun. She has a gun.
Actually,
She
I
gets out of
know a
the car.
hammer.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
She had a
hammer?
hammer.
I thought it was a
Uh-huh.
gun. Okay.
No, it was a
I
hammer.
'Cause I was wondering why she didn't use the gun, why she used the
I
hammer if she
know.
had. Well, now I
Yeah,
know it was a hammer from the start, so there you go. So
yeah.
she goes in, you see how upset I was watching it? Like, I can't even focus my eyeballs. And she walks into the house through the snow, beautiful, it's dusk. Again, very dark lighting, cinematography, dreary, dark, morbid, bringing me into this house where it's also dimly lit, just like you would. You know, you got a light on, you're watching television. He's sitting, she sees the back of his head. He's sitting, watching a show, looking at his phone. The show's coming to an end. He looks at his phone, gets up, goes upstairs. Okay. He's taking a bath. She takes the hammer to his head in the bath. Okay. And then she
Yeah.
can't look at him. Now, this wasn't for him. This is how I know telling Shashia to close her eyes wasn't for Shashia because she can't even look at what she's done. She
She
puts a
can't.
towel over the bath when he sinks under the water so she doesn't have to look at what's
Yeah.
happened. She is like it's very personal. She's like hiding what she has done and goes and then sits on the toilet and like has a little bit of a freak out like as if, whatever. One of the scenes that really struck me is how they do in horror where they just like they pull back the camera and the blood drops just go on the
Yes.
floor. Murder weapon. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did that. Yes, they
Yeah, he
did
went
that.
there.
Yeah, they went there. And I'm like, oh damn, everything's so bright and white in the bathroom, and then there's
Uh,
the blood,
the blood.
again. hmm Very nicely shot, very well done. I did
Yeah.
appreciate it. A little cheesy because it's a throwback to like every serial killer,
Yes.
movie I've ever seen. But I do appreciate the nod to the genre, to throwing my butt there again. But I do appreciate it, because they're
Right.
gonna do it, So what? So then she's freaking out, right? And she backs out and she's getting ready to leave. Now
Okay.
we all know watching it that Shashius has a baby and that
Yes.
he's watching the baby. We all know Shashius not home, so he has the baby, right? And we're
Right.
waiting, like, oh my God. And I'm just thinking
I'm
all this
thinking,
time,
what's happening
don't
to the
make a
baby?
noise. Do not make a noise, baby. Do not make a noise. The
Baby
only
needs to be asleep.
I mean, please be asleep and don't say anything because the only shot you have is that somebody comes to the house and saves you within a day,
Yeah.
whatever. But no, the baby the
The
baby makes a
baby is
noise. The baby
babbling.
gets up and starts babbling. And she goes in and she sees the baby. Now she looks at the baby and the baby looks at her. Now we all know there's a thing with the baby, but she
Yes.
doesn't. Okay.
No.
And I'm screaming at I am
Oh,
literally,
I was losing
all
it.
right, I will say screaming in my head, but only talking in a whisper to my
I
laptop.
I
This
couldn't
was
breathe. I had
I
stomach pains.
right.
I was
My head is
crying.
screaming, "Don't do it. This is your moment. This is where you can prove you're a
Yes.
human. You cannot
Just
look at that baby and
pick
do
up the
this. You
baby
cannot."
and leave.
And I'm like, "Do not, do not, do not do anything to that baby." But nope, sure enough, we
Oh,
cut to the police being at the house and
yes.
somebody saying, "Who the hell could kill a baby?" And I'm just like, oh, yo, well, Mia could. Mia
Mia
did.
could.
And I'm like, oh my
That
gosh. And then
psychopath.
here we find out that the hamster is in the room. We hear a little scurrying. It cuts over to the
Yeah.
hamster. You might not think that's important right now, but let me just tell you,
Becomes important later.
it becomes important. They do a shot over to the crib. It's heartbreaking. A little baby, so
I
adorable.
know.
Gone. We know Mia did it. And then the investigative detective, the female detective, just looks down and she goes, "Why would they have to kill the baby? The baby was blind. They never would have been able to say
Yeah.
who it was." And I'm like, I
Oh,
hope this is where at the end of it I get to make myself feel better because we don't get to see any of it, but you get to project
yes.
ahead what may happen after these episodes
Uh-huh.
go. And I can only, go on other Brooker episodes on how he deals with justice in the
Right.
criminal system and all of that. But anyway, they then start to talk and they go and pick up the hamster cage. And I'm like, why? And then I'm like, oh my God, they're going to put the recorder on the guinea pig.
I know.
They
I
put
was
the
like,
recorder. Yes, they put the recorder on the guinea pig. And
yeah.
Mia, everything you did, yep, they saw you do it, Mia.
Yep.
They saw you. And not only that, they're going to be able to trace everything you did back, but they saw what you did today. The worst thing that you could have done as far
Uh-huh.
as going in front of a jury or getting it out in the press or dealing with law enforcement is what you just did that the guinea pig saw. And that you killed that baby, an
Yeah.
innocent baby. And oh my God. I just,
Then you know me, Claire. You know I
mm,
have a medical background, and most of mine has been in ophthalmology and optometry.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I found an article in one of the ophthalmological journals about guinea pigs' vision. So,
You
yeah,
know, yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
went down a whole rabbit hole. I called up one of the doctors I used to work for. We talked about it. He gave me his password so I could get the full article to read. Yeah, I was a hot mess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm telling you, it was. I can't. Well, you looked up guinea pig eyesight. Like I'm looking up
Yeah,
words like limbic and how how the brain stores memories, and you're looking up guinea pig eyesight. Like that's
yeah.
fast.
I do
That's
know that they see like where was it? I have it here in my notes
mm-hmm.
somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know.
They actually cannot see anything straight on because of the
Right,
way their
only from
eyes
the
are
side.
set.
Well, that was good
But
because it was kind of sideways in the cage,
it
so
was.
hopefully
But
it
they can
got good.
see 33 images per second and we can only see 22.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
they, they also have very little depth perception
Yeah.
and they use more of a spatial sense instead of limbic. And
Yeah.
they can only see about 3 feet away from them.
Well, Limbic really wouldn't work for them because he's in a cage and all he's going to smell is that
Exactly.
litter. Like we all know, all you smell in these
Yeah.
cages with these little is the litter anyway. Like because it's
Right.
such a the cedar chips or whatever it is they use. I mean,
Uh
not
huh.
that it's it's not that unpleasant, but basically it's going to be overwhelming for the little thing. Well, this is
Exactly. It would be.
here you go. This is for you, Kim. Arcanic says witness for the guinea pig. seed, water, carrot, seed, baby killer, seed, water, chew on balls, seed, carrot. Right. It's not going to
That's
phase.
exactly what
Right.
they do.
Perfect witness. It didn't phase them at all. Just the facts.
No.
No emotional anything.
Yeah.
He's
Nothing.
like, where's my next seed? Like he just saw the
Yeah.
whole thing and that was it. But yeah, and I don't mean to make light of it. It was traumatic, but of course we need to because it's just something somebody wrote. It didn't actually happen. Well, thankfully, not a true story. But I agree. Brooker's very, very dark in this, very, very dark. And there's justice because, of course, Mia, she just goes her merry way, and she actually goes to her son's recital.
She
Okay, and
does.
the husband can tell something's wrong, and she's emotional. The mascara's running, and she looks like she could barely hold it together. And everybody's cheering about the great performance, and she's like sinking in her chair, just like barely holding it together. But we get to see the whole thing unfolding with the episode where the detective is like, okay, the guinea pig knows, and they know who it is. Of course, as soon as they get a picture of her, they're going to put it in their car and they're going to know exactly where she is. And sure enough, the police show up during the recital, and we see them come into the back and them talking to somebody and pointing over to like where she's sitting. Like that's the end of it, right? And it
Yeah.
flashes to her at the end. She looks back to see that the police are in the back. And then she looks forward, and that's the end of it, just staring straight ahead, just like she was in the mirror, right? Just staring
Exactly.
like straight ahead. Um, and fitting ending is that we don't get to find out, okay? But
No. But we can
I want her to be tortured at the end by the fact that that child wouldn't have been able to testify against her because that
exactly.
child died. That they could have put the recorder on that baby, and the baby would not have seen a damn thing.
No.
And I need her to know that because I need her to get twisted out about it because it's unsettling to me that she has disrupted all these lives so uncaringly, caring only for herself. Okay.
Exactly.
I want her to know what that knowledge is going to do to her, and then the knowledge of what it's going to do to her husband and her son, how they're going to feel about her when they find all this out. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I need her to feel that pain. I do. And I hope that
Yeah.
there's an episode in the future series about some kind of device, whatever they do with her. You know how in White Bear, where they made the woman go through everything
Right?
again over and over and over again. I could see,
I could see
I
them
could,
doing that to her.
I could, I could see why that was fascinating to Charlie
Oh,
to write.
yeah.
Because you want that kind of justice for certain things like children killers and really offensive things that we can't wrap our brain around. Like, how does this happen? And it needs to not. And we have to do something to make sure it doesn't happen anymore. And sometimes that is in how we use our justice against it to make it like
Right.
you don't want to do it. You don't want to go there because this will happen. And I can understand. It's just a way to get it out of your head, like that you did something about it because that was so unsettling. Like,
It was.
yeah, just very. Well, what was even more interesting? Not that I mean that was dark enough, but did you
Right.
read all of the conflict and controversy about the name of the show? I mean, it's called
Yes.
Crocodile. First of all,
Yes.
you all heard the story. Some of you that have been here in the chat from the beginning. Did anything that I say during this whole thing, or Kim in describing this episode, remind you of a crocodile or anything to do with a crocodile? Like, and everybody was scratching their head as to why a
Why did they
crocodile?
name
And
it
there are some
Crocodile?
fascinating theories. It
Yes.
started. Brooker did it on purpose in the beginning.
He he did.
he he started out in the interview that I read, and Kim usually has other interviews also. She'll probably bring forth some other ones because he said a lot about this episode. Actually,
He did.
there's a lot out there about this episode because people were coming at him about this, especially about the title and why he
Yeah.
did it and the whole
Even the
thing.
director, Hillcoat, he didn't tell him for a long time.
He didn't even tell him. Everybody was like, why did you name it Crocodile? Why? Did not tell him. So during this interview, which is in one of the books that came out about Inside Black Mirror, which was like a lot of times about with Charlie Brooker, and they addressed this episode, and he said, this episode started out as a different story. And the term crocodile is used for someone who's living their life after a trauma, who cannot move forward and they're just going, they're always trapped back into, it's never going to get better, like, and reliving the thing over. And it's like a way of their life going forward. You expect it not to be so good because of what happened. It's almost like, the way he described it is, you're in a boat, in a lovely river, and you're like going around, and everything's all beautiful, and then a crocodile like attacks you. So
Yeah,
now, no matter what anybody says about that was a lovely day, all you think about is the crocodile
the
attacked you, and there
crocodile.
might
You
there
you
might
can't
be another
yeah,
crocodile down the river.
you
Like,
can't ever relax again in your
right,
life.
you can't relax again. You're always waiting for the next episode of a crocodile or something to
Mhm.
happen. And that kind of, it was about a story. He was talking about a 2-year old, and, like, the
Yeah.
death of a child and all of this, and it was a totally different episode. And he scrapped that episode, kept the title, and wrote this, leaving
Uh-huh.
some of the plots in there. We could see that it was still going to be very, very dark.
Yeah.
It was still going to be about um death and killing, and what gets you to the point of killing, which is like, but he didn't start it the same way, and it was like he scrapped the whole
He
first
did.
part, but kept the title, and thinking it wasn't going to fit. And in a way, it doesn't fit
Right, but
until
then again,
until
in
you
a
get
way
to
it
the end,
does.
and then in a way it does, because 15 years she kept that secret, and it changed how she looked.
It
Okay,
did.
keeping that secret for 15 years, knowing that she did what she did, and she wouldn't actually admit to it or come clean, it changed her. It made her not enjoy her life. It put her in that disassociate state where she was able to do what she did, you know
Right.
right? Because if she was actually living her life with her husband and her child to the fullest, she never could have got there.
It's like she could never exhibit emotions again.
It was really, it turned her, she turns into a psychic rugrat murderer. Yes, it's
Right.
awful. She is actually, as quick as she gets to the fact that she's going to kill people, is astounding to me. She just
Yeah.
gets there really quick, like really quick.
Now, did you hear what Hillcoat said about the
Mm.
title?
No, go ahead. I want to hear this. Go. Hmm.
He suggested that the title referenced the story's cruel logic, that it has a
Hmm.
deadly vice life grip, akin
Hmm.
to a crocodile's jaw.
Okay. And a director who actually did that to us with how he had the actors portray it and the scenes
Yeah,
that he set up. Yeah, he did that. He did
he
that. The
did.
way they went from murder to murder, and we
Uh-huh.
knew the whole time we were in that grip, and we weren't
Yeah,
getting out. He was not giving us any wiggle room at
right.
all. He was making us face the horrific nature of it
Yeah.
the whole time. He gave us
And
nothing to hold on to,
one
except
thing
that little part that Kim tried to with the close your eyes. Like, no,
I
not
know,
even
I
not
tried.
even that. Yeah, not even that. He just didn't. The panic in Shazia when she realized what she saw,
Yeah.
and she puts that fake smile on to Mia like everything's just
Uh-huh.
fine. And yet you know that she knows her life is over unless she
Exactly. She
really gets the
does.
hell out of there. Yeah. It was, she was, something else.
And
Wow. Hmm.
Wollenberg, the producer, he referenced it back to crocodile tears, how they look like they have tears in their eyes
Hmm.
as they're stalking and killing their prey.
Exactly. They're chomping down on you with
And he
tears in their
said that,
eyes.
anytime she was crying, they weren't
Hmm.
real tears, they were crocodile tears.
Well, if they were tears at all, they were for herself. I would
Right.
definitely believe that. I don't, not once, even how cold she was when she got back home to her husband and her child,
Yeah.
completely disassociated. I know she was mentally whatever, but I know she was mentally at the point because she just committed a murder. But at that point, it was like solved, done. Like the 15 years is over with. You think she may have like reached for her family a little bit, but
I
no,
know.
she was completely closed off from them, completely closed off.
You know, Claire, and you mentioned how the director kind of tied the crocodile in through
Mhm,
their direction and some of the cinematography. And that was something I really picked up with. A lot of times on Mia, they really focused in on her eyes and had the lower part of her face shadowed, kind of
mhm,
like you see a crocodile or an alligator in the water, and all you
mhm,
see are those eyes sticking up,
mhm. Yeah.
especially when she was at Shazia's house as she was going up those stairs, she was
Mhm.
climbing those stairs very slowly. And
Mhm.
like alligators and reptiles, they stalk their prey very quietly and slowly, and then they
Mhm.
strike very quickly, like she did with the hammer. But
Yep.
during that, she also had a mask on the lower part of her face, so all we saw were those eyes peeking out. And I just
Exactly.
that was, like, so great of them to do that.
And yeah, it was the direction was fine. And as far as the cinematography for the shots, working with the director and the cinematographer, looking at that scenery, how large and beautiful the scenery is in Iceland. Everything's so majestic, huge, bigger than life. You get the impression they're putting out there bigger than life, and then you see the little figure of Mia, often,
Yeah,
dark, shadowed, right? Black
yeah,
against this gorgeous setting. The little tiny car, like an ant driving, through, to let us
exactly.
know about the separatedness, the isolation, the things that happen behind
Uh-huh.
everything that we don't know anything. The
The sense of
seedier side.
desolation.
Yes, the stuff we don't want to know about, but it's going on like all the time.
Uh-huh.
As we're focusing on the big picture here, here's this little big black smudge that we got to deal with because it's not going away. To me, it was big like that. Just
Oh, yeah.
cinematography goes for me. I don't know. It's just something that catches me. I
It
try
it
to
does me too.
when I look at these episodes, as I admit it, I'm a nerd, I'm a geek. When it comes to Black Mirror, I love Charlie Brooker. Something about his writing spoke to me in a way different than other authors, just different than other writers out there. Like I kind of got what he was trying to say, or at least he made me pay attention enough to want to know desperately what he was trying to convey. He intrigued me, let's say that. And then the directors and the cinematographer, I try to look at them all as complete creative beings and try to respect exactly what they're trying to do and how they're contributing to this story. And I take it apart like that. And I have to say, Charlie Brooker builds teams that actually work with the premise
Yes.
fantastic whole time. I don't know what those production meetings are like, but damn, I could watch a series just on the production meetings
Oh, I
of the
know.
series because I want to hear that creative bantering back and forth because the end product works so well together in getting the message out that they are. And in
It
this
really
one,
does.
Charlie proved his point to me finally that it's not about the technology, Claire. Like, stop focusing on the technology being the bad, bad, bad thing for the future. It's not. It's where we won't control it, how we try to use it, what people do with it. It's the way technology is enhancing the evilness of men.
Yeah,
Period. That was what I took away from this. Damn it, Charlie. Damn it. Damn it. And
I
the
know.
irony and the twist and my love for Twisty Dark. Because I can't
Yes,
say, as much as this disturbed me, I can't say I didn't like this episode. It was freaking fantastic.
it was.
Was a fantastic. It was dark. It was morbid. It was had no happy pieces to it whatsoever.
No.
And damn it, Charlie Brooker, I loved every second of it, and especially the ending when you did that Twilight Zone thing where you twisted that ending out. Even
Oh,
though we should have known, you twisted that ending out and slapped us in the face with the child being blind, the guinea pig seeing it all.
uh-huh.
Boom. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. He's a true artist. That
He
just
is. He's a
absolutely.
genius.
Yeah. And I'm so looking forward to his next bout.
Oh,
I really am.
I know it can't come soon enough for me.
Mhm. Yeah, totally, totally. On that, I mean, this series until we do we do have one more left, right, Kim? We got
We
Bandersnatch,
do. We have
and
Bandersnatch.
we have talked about that a little bit in every episode, the last few ones, because we need to
Yes,
build a team. And so I'm
we
gonna put
do.
the call out there to all you and YouTubes, and I'm looking at you, Culture Cats, because I know you're a
Right?
fan. Yeah, and I know you love
Come on,
Black
Culture
Mirror.
Cats. It'll be great.
Right, and we have no time for I don't want to put pressure on you. I mean, no is no, and I will
No,
abide by it if you
we
say it, but
will.
you got to say it. But also, I know there's some other fans that really
Yes.
you don't all you need is a microphone. On my channel, there is no camera. It's not that sophisticated. You can use your phone, as I do, to dial in. But what we want is anyone who truly has an admiration for the series would want to watch the Bandersnatch episode, pick the options your way, and be able to talk about what happened with the options that you picked. Because I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
get a panel of at least 6 of us up here that could take all the different scenarios that happen. Because
Yes.
Bandersnatch is also uh, a brilliant way to present something to where it was actually audience participation. You got to pick where the
It was.
storyline started to
It was
go. You got
interactive.
to pick your twisty turny stuff. Like you got to set it in the direction and see what happened. And you can watch it multiple times. Yeah.
Yes.
All you need is a mic and a potato. Yes, Luke.
That's right,
Yes.
Luke.
You don't even need a potato. You could do it right on your phone.
Do it on your
Streamlabs,
phone.
as long as your phone has internet access, I can send you a a StreamYard's link, and you can just pick a picture from your phone to use as your avatar, like
Yeah.
Kim and I have, and you just need to access your mic and disable your camera. You're fine. You're
Yeah.
protected. None of your information is shared. Just anybody that's considering about it. There's quite a few people in my circle that say they might be interested, and I hope you come forward because I'd really like to do this within the next month or so. I will
Yes.
be very flexible for those of you that want to participate, that are the hugest fans, that have been with us for quite a few episodes, and I do
Uh-huh.
want to honor, and not put a time frame, stickler on you like it has to be done at this time. But do want to wrap this up before the new series comes out.
Yes.
Totally.
We
So,
do.
yeah, but the next one will be Bandersnatch, and unless we find some other brookerish things
Yeah,
to
and we're
do.
kind of looking at that also.
Yeah,
So,
we are, because there are some absolutely fascinating things out there. There's Inside Number Nine, which is a
right.
British. It just warps my brain. I
And
absolutely love it.
that
There's
one
also
that one is on Prime Video. So
that's
if
on
you have
Prime. Yeah.
Prime, you
That
can
is
view it
killer.
there.
Yeah, that is absolutely warpy. Love it. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
it
It's
it,
very
it
good.
appeals. It appeals to my twisty, nerdy,
Yeah.
geeky, like what the heck is going on side. Like I love that. I love to be
Uh-huh.
entertained. Like show me something different, and it is. There's also a show Severance that's out there. That's
Severance
freaking
is good, and
fantastic.
that's on Apple TV.
That is on Apple TV. That's a little harder to get a hold of, but
It
oh my
is a little
gosh.
harder.
It is, you could tell I'm a geek. I like this sci-fi, dystopian, anything that's not the normal. This is not everyday life drama. I will never, besides politics or things that actually matter, you
Right?
will not, you'll never catch me doing commentary on like, really reality TV or drama or soap opera and none of that stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
it's going to be either out of this world or right there in your backyard politically. That's how the pair
Exactly.
which is a little
Exactly.
weird for people to get used to, but that's just me. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
just me. But it was fascinating. But
It
anyway,
was. Do you
last
have
words,
Easter
love.
eggs?
No,
Do
that
you
was
have
it for
Easter
me for
eggs?
Easter eggs.
You
You
have
can go
no
forward with
Easter
the rest of.
eggs?
I did just the two I mentioned, which was just the two I mentioned. The song, I knew about the song. I knew about the
Okay.
race movie. Oh wait, and also they were talking about Oh wait, when Shazia goes to the clerk at the hotel, he brings up hot shots. Yes, that was
Yes.
one. He
Yes.
starts talking about hot shots because, of course,
About
it
how
ties into the
yeah.
movie and all that other stuff. But
Uh-huh.
mhm.
Okay, the article Mia burned in the fireplace was from
Okay.
UKN News.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
Fence's Pizza was also in USS Callister.
Oh,
That
that's
was the
right.
pizza that Daly would get.
Daly got that pizza. Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay. There.
and
I
the
missed
des
that. All
the
right.
the yeah, the designs on Mia's desk match the aerial footage of Daly's apartment in Callister.
Oh my God. How did you figure that out?
I play and pause. Okay, I already told you
Now
about Erica
I feel
Lust.
I feel like I didn't even watch the episode now. Like I missed
Okay,
that.
there was when Mia was going through the on-demand section in the
Mm-hmm.
hotel room,
Right.
there was a title under the classics category that pictured one of the drone bees.
No. My
Yes,
favorite assassin killer bees.
yes.
Cool.
And
Good. I
when Mia was going to the forum when she was walking in with him, part
Hmm.
of the architecture in one of the shots looked like honeycomb.
Yeah, I can see that building.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't
Okay,
know if he made that, but I can see it. I can see
you
it.
want my big one? And I actually did have help finding this, and
Okay.
I had to go and look for it, and it is there. When Rob hands Mia the news article, there's a
Hmm.
message on the news article. And Charlie did this to us. He went there. It says, of course, the real question is why would anyone pause what they are watching just to read a sentence in a printed out newspaper article? Wait, wait. There's more. There's more.
Oh god.
So, so
Oh my
just to read a
god.
sentence in a printed out newspaper article.
Did it say hi, Kim?
No, wait, Claire, wait.
Go on, go on.
Okay, says a
Mm-hmm.
voice in your head before advising you to go and share this finding on Reddit.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Just go look, just read it before you go find it on Reddit because that's where they put all the Easter eggs.
Charlie
What a
got it.
glorious, what a
Charlie got
glorious.
us.
No, Charlie, yeah, he does. Well, he'd been playing with
Charlie
us all.
got us.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they put those in there all the time, the Easter eggs, but they were getting more and more bold with them. And this
Oh,
was what?
yeah.
Was this season 4, episode 3, or season 3, episode 4? I don't know if I got that.
Season 4, episode
Episode
3.
3. Okay. So by now he knows that that's what everybody's doing, like all
Oh,
over,
yeah.
yeah, by now,
Yeah.
like, and they're putting
So
them all
he
in there.
really hid that one.
And it's probably part of the actual production meetings is where we're going to put the Easter eggs. Like, what can we
Oh,
do with
yeah.
cinema? Because it's
Yeah. Where
all very
can we
obvious. It's
hide
all
them?
very obvious. But that's actually amusing. The
That
article. Who
just,
would actually pause to read what's in this article? Oh my God!
um,
Like.
let me just let me just lurk back into the bushes here, Booker, because I do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry, Charlie. Sorry, Charlie. Well, yeah, we like it. We're obsessed. We're definitely obsessed. But anyway,
Yes.
wow, we went an hour. I didn't think I could get 30 minutes of content out of that episode because it was so dark. We got
I
an
know.
hour and 45 minutes. Like, we got to get the hell off
Crazy.
YouTube, girl.
I
We need
know.
to go. We need to go. And hey, Dave, nice to see you.
Hey,
I'm glad you
Dave.
showed. You're gonna have to play the replay. It was
Yeah,
if you haven't seen this episode, it's dark. Like, be
it's a
prepared. It's,
lot.
it's very dark. We're gonna talk about some really dark stuff, but hopefully, if anything, we hope we have enticed you all to get on Netflix and go watch
Yes.
this and
Go
encourage
watch
Charlie to
it.
keep writing, please, because I need more. And thankfully, he's coming up with another series because I need
Yes.
more. And
They're casting
besides,
right now.
right, they can't, right, and we're casting in a way for
Yes,
Bandersnatch
we
review.
are.
So anyone, again, I'm gonna plug it again because I really need some people to step up. It's not gonna be that, you just have to watch the episode, pick whatever options that you want, and then just discuss the options you picked, why you chose between the two, and what happened. And we're just gonna do it. You don't need a camera. We're gonna try to make it as pleasant as possible. I'd like to get at least six people. I know, Dave. I'm so nice to see you here, though, and thank you. And thank you. I saw you retweeted too, and I do appreciate your support. And I
Yeah.
love their channel. Let me, don't blush. It's a good thing you're not on camera because I just am going to plug these guys again, and you've heard me do it in the past. But Answers and Reasons are the
They're
most
so good.
unsubbed, brilliant account out there for just talking about philosophy and things that matter in a way that we can understand it and having a good time too. Two blokes with the best sense of humors on
Yes.
freaking YouTube that I've seen and on Twitter, Joe and Dave, also with the help of Phil and Luke. And you guys all know that I'm a big fan of Luke and taking things apart psychologically. And he's helped me with the depth trial and done things on my channel. And I just look forward to all of their content. Just give them if you haven't been there, just go give them a try. Also, if you like dance raves, Joe occasionally does an excellent one show, which I have listened to over and over again. Because, there's that too. They're just not all, big brain stuff. It is
No. It's
actually,
fun too.
it's real life stuff too. Okay. And, I me, guys, I promote what I like, and I really like that channel.
And
I
they're
do.
so much better with the philosophical things than I am with my Black Mirror philosophy.
Not so true because I'm sure like, not true. I think you fit in very well there because you do like when you did that big brain thing, like you solved the whole world's problem with a Black Mirror episode. I'm like, yep, yeah, I got a
I don't
lot
know
to
if I
learn.
solved the
Yeah.
whole world's
But
problem,
but
but
but that is what I like. I like challenging conversations that help me grow and learn and look at things in a different way. And that's what I get with Kim. That's what I get over there on Answers and Reasonings and on Bearded Heretics channel and a couple of other places that you see me promote. Not I'm not just all the snark and humor and the my naughty bits show on Mayhem. There's more, you know. But I really do. So sorry I made you blush, Dave, but it's well deserved. You guys are absolutely
yes.
phenomenal. And I'm gonna actually approach you, Dave, sooner than later about with your humor actually doing something on my channel if you'd like. But we should talk. We should talk because I absolutely love it over there. There. Well, anyway, let's wrap this up, Boo. I hate to say goodbye because this is our last
I
actual review
know.
episode
I
before
want to cry.
Bandersnatch. I know, and we have no idea when we're doing Bandersnatch because we need four
We
other
need
victims.
Pete.
Oh, did I say victims? I meant participants. Yes. Did I say we need several, and a couple of you have said you are interested in. So let's firm that up. If you really
Yeah.
are, like, tell me you want a seat because I want to save it for you, and then we can work on schedule and how to do this. It's going to be difficult to do. It's going to
It
be
will.
actually. Oh, did you, Luke? You better rephrase that to say you saw my avatar's boobs, please.
Right? Not hers.
Mine have never been on YouTube, nor has any part of me been out here on YouTube lately. Oh, I can't say that. There is actually, I did a show with Jen that there might be a cleavage shot somewhere
Oh.
if they grabbed it. I don't want to make a liar out of myself. Yeah, there was an accident at one point. But
Uh-oh.
still, it was my avatar. And yes, when I say, and part of being naked for Mayhem is about the nakedness of going anywhere with a conversation, having no rules or restrictions about talking about all of the things that people want to, you know,
All the
put
things.
in the closet or put under the bed or wherever the hell you hide your dark secrets. Or the things, well, not even your dark secrets, but the things that make you uncomfortable to talk about. Because the
Yes.
way that you get these things solved and done and in the thing is get it out there. Make it commonplace to actually have rational discourse about these things. You can
Mhm.
have pro and con and not beat people up with frying pans about it. Like you can actually do
Exactly.
it. We do it all the time. Chris and I just did it. Roe versus Wade. We have totally
Yeah.
different politics. Chris, atheist pastor, and I, not totally different, but we are from totally different countries. He's in
Right.
Australia, and I'm in America. We are like he's on the end of the world. Like we know that Australia doesn't really exist, right?
Right. And
So,
that was a great conversation you two had.
and we could because we took it from the rational point of common ground that these things are
Uh-huh.
possible to take something as upsetting and emotional as Roe versus Wade and look at how it happened, where they came at with the actual opinion and what we can actually do about it, and then show something based on history, what happened in Australia, how they were able to accomplish it. And I
Right.
was trying to be encouraging, but I have to say my DMs were not having it. I can't believe how upset people get when you just want to have a conversation. But
I
it ain't
know.
going to stop me. It's not going to stop me. I'm here to tell
No.
you people on YouTube, you can't scare me away by telling me to shut up. It's not going to work. It's not going to
Exactly.
work. I'm still going to talk about it because these things need to be talked about. And I'm
And
not
we
going to
want
force opinion on you. I'm not. I might have an opinion and I'll talk about it, but I'm not forcing it on you. You're still free thinking individuals. Yeah. I encourage that. So have your opinion. Yeah. But I'm still going to be out here talking about it. So if you don't want to hear it, I'm sorry. But that's the nature of the bear. It's just the way it's going to
that's
be.
right.
All right. So on that, anything else to say, Kim?
I have nothing else except this has been wonderful, Claire. And I can't wait for Bandersnatch and I
Mm-hmm.
can't wait for a new season. But
You
you have
know,
been absolutely wonderful to me. Thank you.
oh, you've been absolutely wonderful to me. Anybody that encourages my nerdiness is okay by me because there's not very many. I mean, it can be all that. I can be annoying AF. Everybody knows it. talk too much, strong opinions, really kind of radical thoughts about certain things. But as always, I do welcome the other side of it. And this has been a blast for me too, Kim, because you are the way you approach it, the way you attacked it, the way you love Charlie Brooker. Like, who thought I could meet so many people who love Charlie Brooker the way I
I
do? Like,
know.
I
I
thought I
thought I
was a
was
freak
I thought I
alone
was
in the
the
world.
only one.
I know. I thought I was just a freak alone in the world. Me and
I
Brooker,
know. But I was able to come out of my Charlie Brooker closet.
yeah. And this has been fun. It's been, as I
It
said,
has.
it's been what they call a passion project of mine, a vanity project, because I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. It's years after the series, but that's how it holds up. You could watch this stuff today, and it's relative. Okay, and that is classic. This Black Mirror stuff's going to be around forever. Okay, because it's like Twilight Zone. It's just classic. You watch the stories, and they are relevant. They are definitely relevant now. So on that, go watch some Black Mirror, and we'll see you all soon. All right? You say have a great weekend, and for those of you in America, happy 4th of July. And try to find something to celebrate close to home, like your family and stuff. And we'll deal with the mess the country is in later. Okay.
Right.
And for everyone else, enjoy the rest of your weekend. As far as the channel, Monday I will be actually, even though it's a holiday, I still am going to do a legal update. Um, Based on some things that are going on. And then we've got an AIT during the week. I've got Joe from Answer and Reasonings Thursday on my channel. We're going to talk about language,
Oh,
one of his wonderful
nice.
essays that he wrote. He's going to be fantastic for those of you that are here. I'm very happy for it. And then, we'll finish up the rest of the week with a couple of panels over on the Shills. Also, later today, okay, actually very shortly, over at the Shills, Amy is doing the Uncalled For, and we're going to be discussing Roe versus Wade again. And I should have got that link. Oh, damn it. I should. Oh, give me a second. I could probably pull it up in a second and put it here for you guys, because that is going to be wonderful. If you follow over there at the Shills, Amy does a more serious thing on Sundays. This should be great. Great information. Not just talk about what happened, but also what can be done about it, what's happening in other countries, how it's affecting more than just our country.
Right.
Um,
It does.
uh, and so I'm definitely excited to be a part of that. So I got to wrap this up. Here we go. I'm going to drop this for you guys. The link works. There you go. We'll be there shortly today. Um, yeah, it's going to start shortly. So there we go. All right.
Yeah.
On that, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure you're going to see Kim. Kim also is on Mayhem with me, and we do other things together. It might be the slowdown of Black Mirror for now, but we'll still be about. We'll still be
Oh, yeah,
about.
we
Right?
will.
Yeah. All right.
We
So
will.
on that, have a great Sunday, everybody. We'll see you later.
Yes. Bye.